It's Sunday morning. It is Sunday. Anyway, Thursday. Was it Thursday? Friday. I went to the ER because I have to get antibiotics for this wound again because it's growing open again. It's a mess. Hopefully I get in to see the doctor soon and find out what we're doing because something's got to work sooner or later. I got a bug bite. Anyway, so I went to the emergency room to get antibiotics because the nurses at wound care told me I needed antibiotics and I shouldn't be waiting on it. I'm like, okay. So we go in and we get put in a room. Find out I was the wrong person. They called Tammy. I just went. Apparently there was 2 Tammys. I was supposed to go to the other part. But anyway, whatever. They kept me where I was. And they said they wanted to try a medicine that was a cousin of penicillin. But they wanted to know what my reaction to penicillin was when I was younger. And I said, as far as I knew, it was a full body rash. When I was a teenager, there was a rash. A little bit of throat tightness. They're like, okay, we'll try this. So the nurse gets the IV set up. Starts it running, says she's going to go get the stuff for her to dress the wound. So the wound's wide open right now. Then my head started to itch. So I'm scratching my head. So I wasn't reading my book no more. I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, oh, he's just started the IV. There's no way that's a reaction. And then my tongue started to feel funny on the sides. And then my throat started to feel funny. But right after that, itch. My arm started itching. My wound started itching. And I wanted to scratch that. And I knew it was uncovered. And I'm like, I can't touch that. So here I am, fists clenched, squirming around in this bed. Going, it's so itchy, it's itchy. And my husband just sitting there. He's like, well, it's the antibiotic. I'm like, I know that. That's what I thought. But anyway, he didn't understand the level of this itch. It was itchy. Then my feet started to itch. And then I'm like, oh. So I'm trying to scratch one foot with the other foot. But I had my socks on. And then my woman part started to itch. I'm like, it's itchy. I'm just squirming around this bed. It was so itchy. And then the nurse came in, and she couldn't have been gone more than 2-3 minutes at the most. And she didn't look at me right away. And she just came in, and she had the bandage dressing stuff. And she says, how's it going? And my husband says, oh, she's itchy. And the nurse jumps over to me, and she's like, did it start after the IV was started? I'm like, And he's trying to say yes. And I'm like, she says, did it start after the IV started? I'm like, yes! But apparently my tongue was swollen, so I wasn't making any sense. So anyway, that IV came out really fast. They put my bed up really fast. Like fast enough to nauseate me on top of everything that's going on. And they pumped me full of, I guess it was Benadryl. A lot of it. I got shoved off to the monitors. My heart rate was woo up the roof and my blood pressure was woo down there. And I'm like, yeah, I spent a lot of time unconscious. But they acted fast. Got me out of the anaphylaxis. I'm okay now. Car drove by. Did you see that? This is my, I'm dropping you. This is my crochet hooks in that box. And this is my Nicky Nacky. Nicky. There she is. Hi, Nick Nack. Anyway, I figured I'd give a little chit chat. I got my thingy on here. Gonna show you. I got some stuff to sew. So I'm gonna show you some stuff. So this is kind of my spot where I sit and do crafty stuff. I bought this because it's variegated, different colors. There's my needle sticking in it, so I know where it is. Gutermann. That is my favorite thread when I'm sewing, especially with a machine. Sewing machines do not like cheap thread. Anyway, they had different colorings, but for what I'm doing here, I thought maybe this was the best idea because, come here, we got all these different colors in here. Christmas colors and other colors. Bunch of squares. We're going to try and make a blanket out of some old pairs of pajamas. Hey, Smoke. There's my Smoky boy over there. Hi, Smoky. Hey, you were looking here. Hi, buddy. That's my Smoky boy. He was my bottle baby. And now he's a brat. Anyway, so what you're supposed to do is you take 9 of these squares and you make them into a big square and you go from there. So I'm going to decide what I'm going to do for squares here. Okay, so I'm just going to lay them out like that. That'll be my first square. And there's lots of different fabrics, so I'll be doing different ones too. And there's scraps if I need them to make another squares. I got to see what the size of the center panel is. So that would be the center panel when in the blanket. We're working around that. So just going to need some scraps around it to make it the same size as the squares. But that'll be later.